Good morning and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, John Daytona, and as always, I'm joined by Johnny. Today we're going to start a three-part series about cars that carry the Daytona name. We're going to work backwards chronologically. So today we're going to start with the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. We're not going to do any cars that were made after 1974, which were basically appearance packages. And we're not going to do any Triumph motorcycles because Johnny and I have some brand loyalty. This is our 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. Now I know a lot of you look at this car and you think Superbird. Why would you think Superbird? Well, they made 4 times as many Superbirds as they did Daytona Chargers. Why was that? Well, that was because of the homologation rules. So in 1969, they only had to make 500 cars to qualify for racing in NASCAR. In 1970, they had to make 2 cars for every dealership. So Plymouth apparently had 910 dealerships, so they had to make 1,920 cars. And why did they switch from Dodge to Plymouth for the Aero Cars? Well, it was because of Richard Petty. Richard Petty had left in 1968 to go drive a Ford. He drove a Taladega Torino. So Plymouth wanted him back, and the only way he was coming back is if he got an Aero car. So that's where the Superbird came from. Now, I am not an expert on Mopars, and I know a lot of you out there have a lot of knowledge. Please feel free to correct me in the comment section. But you know who is an expert? Dave Wise. So when Dave Wise does an inspection on the car, you get a 77-page report. So this car has been inspected by Dave Wise. It is 100% numbers matching. The only thing that is not bone stock in the car right now are the wheels and tires. Because, face it, this car was built for NASCAR. It needs to look like NASCAR. We do have the original red stripes and dog dish hubcaps for it. So going back to the Superbird. Now, everybody sees these cars, they think Superbird, Superbird. Why is that? Well, when I was 3.5 years old in 1970, I remember vividly going car shopping with my parents. Now, you got to understand something. We lived in Detroit at the time, and my parents thought that the big 3 automakers were Dodge, Chrysler, and Plymouth. So we apparently were at a Plymouth dealership, and they had a Superbird in the showroom, and I identified with the Roadrunner that was emblazoned on the rear wing. So needless to say, we didn't go home with the Superbird. A couple weeks later, we came home with a Pooh Brown 1970 Dodge Dart, 6-cylinder, although it was the Swinger. So welcome back. We had a bit of a rain delay this morning. Here in Florida, we have 2 seasons, the wet season and the dry season, and right now it's wet. It's also very humid. Give you an idea how humid it is. That's my special diving watch. We're going to go ahead and give you an overview of the 69 Dodge Charger Daytona.
The 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona is often called the best in NASCAR history. The Dodge Charger Daytona model, with its distinctive high rear wing and extended nose, was created specifically to win at NASCAR superspeedways. 503 examples were produced to meet the Stock Car Series homologation requirement in 1969. The car's radical nose reduced drag to 0.28, impressive even by today's standards, and provided a real advantage at speed. On March 24, 1970, Buddy Baker drove his number 88 Dodge Daytona to 200.447 miles per hour at the Alabama International Motor Speedway. This was the first NASCAR entry to crack the 200-mile-an-hour barrier, and together with its twin, the Plymouth Superbird, racked up 10 NASCAR victories over just 2 racing seasons. That advantage came to a quick end when the Aero design, more commonly known as the Winged Warriors, was banned by NASCAR at the conclusion of the 1971 season. This 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona was produced at the Hamtramck Assembly Plant in Hamtramck, Michigan on April 27, 1969. It was scheduled as the 245,000th 399th vehicle produced during the 1969 model year at this plant. The car's original window sticker shows an MSRP of $4,730.65, including a $5.40 upcharge for the 3-speed windshield wiper option. One of only 2 Daytonas shipped to the state of Nevada, it was originally sold by Reno Dodge in Reno, Nevada, and it entered service on August 16th of 1969. Finished in Charger red over tufted black vinyl interior and powered by its original matching numbers 440 cubic inch Magnum V8 engine with 4-barrel carburetor, and backed by its original console shifted 727 torque flight 3-speed automatic transmission and 8 3/4 rear axle with optional 355 gears. All is documented by its original build sheet and report from MMC Detroit. The entire automobile, including its engine and transmission, has been fully and faithfully restored to Concours quality. Every aspect of this car shows beautifully. Chrome, paint, interior surfaces, including the wood veneer dash and center console trim, the gauges, including the conservative 150 mile/hour speedometer, emblems, stickers, data tags, undercarriage and engine bay, including hoses and componentry, all in the proper finishes and assembly markings. The Goodyear Eagle racing tires and period NASCAR wheels are the only departure from original components. The original red stripe tires, steel wheels, and hubcaps are easily reinstalled for 100% originality and correctness. This 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona is one of the finest examples of the 503 produced.
All right, Johnny, let's go for a ride. And we're off. Accelerates smartly. Careful, it's a lawn care day today in Buffalo. Pretty easy car to drive, comfortable, power steering, power brakes, automatic. Even though these cars weren't really meant to be luxury cars, they were, built to satisfy the requirements for racing. Apparently they didn't sell real well at the dealerships. I mean, I guess if you were going to get a car to go to the grocery store in, pointy noses and big wings weren't the thing.
I definitely could have talked my wife into this one.
Yeah?
Look at all the trunk space.
Yeah. But racing is what these cars was bred for. These were the Aero Cars, very short-lived. The Dodge Daytona Charger, the Plymouth Superbird, the Ford Taladega Torino, and the Mercury Cyclone Spoiler. All Aero cars of their days. And they were basically legislated out by NASCAR because they were going too fast. But, isn't that what racing's all about?
That's what I thought.
Going fast, turn left.
let's see what she's got here, Johnny.
She definitely still got a little pep in her step.
Oh, yes. The old Carter AFB.
I was gonna say, I still can't imagine doing 200 miles an hour in this car.
Could you? Little roll bar in the back,
Yeah.
helmet, got your loafers on, cigarette hanging out your mouth, getting around those high banks in Taladega. Actually, it wasn't Taladega back then. It was the Alabama International Motor Speedway. I don't know when it got to be known as Taladega. And, the NASCAR fans, they call it the Dega.
The Dega.
Yeah, so I figured, hey, that's pretty good. I got a racetrack named after me. But still, 200 miles an hour on whatever they had for tire technology back there, drum brakes, and real cars. They weren't the car of tomorrow. They didn't have center lock wheels. They didn't have monocoque space frames and stuff. They were the same car you could buy at the dealership.
That's awesome.
Yes. So those guys, those were men driving those cars. Not to take anything away from today's current crop, but those were a bunch of tough country boys muscling these cars around the track. 200 miles an hour in 1970, and then they got legislated out, and it took another 15 years for one of them boys to hit 200 miles an hour again. Probably the most famous of which is Bill Elliott, Wild Bill from Dawsonville. 212 miles an hour in his Ford Thunderbird.
Nice.
All right, Johnny. Well, that concludes the driving portion of our video.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. We hope to see you again in the next future episodes where we feature other cars that are Daytonas. If you liked the video, give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you know when we come out with more fun videos. And we'll see you on the next one.